Hello and welcome to Tutoring Success. Today we are going to be looking at the practical application of the second theorem. Remember guys, the second theorem states that the angle which an arc of a circle subtends at the center is double the angle it subtends at any point on the circumference. So these are the four different scenarios guys that the examiner will try to trick you with. So today I'm going to try to break them down. So let's look at scenario one. So what is going on with scenario one? Remember guys, our theorem states that the angle at the center, or the angle that is subtended by the arc at the center, is 2 times that it subtends at any point on the circumference. So in this scenario, A is on our circumference. So if we can just say let A equals to X, what does that mean to our situation? That simply means that angle BOC is going to be equals to 2X, right? Right, let's go to our second scenario. So on our second scenario, where is our arc? Our arc is that orange shaded part of the circle, so it's CP. So let's say we are going to let y to be equals to 0 because A is one of the points on our circumference, but this one or this A is subtended by this arc, right? So if A is equals to y, so what does that mean to us? That simply means that COP or angle COP is equals to 2y, right? And then we go to our next scenario, which is our third scenario. So here we have BC, the shaded part, so which is our point at the circumference that is subtended by this arc. So it's A again. So if we can say let A equals to Z, what does that mean for us? That simply means angle BOC is also equals to 2Z, right? So if you have any question guys, please don't hesitate to post them on our comment section below. I'll get back to you. So let's go to our fourth and our last scenario, which I believe that is the most tricky one, right? So let's say you are given something like this. So the shaded part guys is that is our arc that subtends an angle at the center. So which angle does it subtend on our circumference? So it's only A, right? So if we can say let A equals to X, right? So that means angle BOC is going to be 2 times that, which is 2X, right? Which is 2X. So if this video guys is helpful for you so far, please don't forget to put that like button. So let's go to our practical question actually, where we are going to apply our second theorem. Okay everyone, let's look at this question, right? So we are given a statement and a diagram, right? So I would like us to use the very same procedure guys. You first read the statement and then you fill in the missing information on your diagram, and then you analyze your diagram. After analyzing the diagram, then you can try to tackle the question. Actually, that's when you must consider reading the questions, right? After analyzing the diagram. So let's start with the statement. In the diagram, PR and PQ are equal chords. So we can see PR and PQ, they are chords, and they also tell us that they are equal, right? So I think this is a very valuable thing on our statement right here, right? And then they are saying they are chords of the circle with the center M, right? So M is our center, and then QS is perpendicular to PR. Okay, we can see that at S, right? PS is equals to X centimeter, and they showed that one, and then MR is drawn. Okay, that's fine. So how do we analyze our graph? Because we have seen that everything that's in our statement, it's also on our diagram. So we start by looking at equal lines, guys. So we can see that MR is equals to MQ. Our reasoning is going to be radii, right? Because we have two radiuses, and what is a radius is the line from center to the circumference, meaning that they are equal, right? And then there's this thing, guys, that they also stated here. They said that QS, right? QS is perpendicular to PR. Okay, we all know that PR is our chord, and then we know that QS, actually QS, we can say QS is it's almost the same line as MS, right? So let's not look at QS, but let's try to look at MS. So what is MS? MS is the line from the center to the chord, and we are told that this line from the center to the chord is perpendicular to the chord. So if we can recall our first theorem, it states that if the line is drawn from the center and it's given that is perpendicular to the chord, so that simply means what? It simply means that it bisects the chord, meaning that these two lines or sides are equal, right? This simply means that PS is equals to SR. So what is SR? XR actually or eventually is going to be X, right? Because that line is from the center and is perpendicular to the chord, and we know that it bisects the chord. Bisect simply means that it is cutting this thing into two equal halves, right? And then if we can carry on analyzing, guys, we know that PR, our chord PR is equals to our chord PQ, and we were given that these two chords are equal, right, on our statement. So this simply means if this is X and then if PS is X and SR is X, that means PR is going to be 2X, and we know that PR is equals to PQ. Hopefully I'm making sense, guys. Hopefully I'm making sense. Right. If you are having any question, guys, please don't hesitate. Drop it on our comment section below. Okay, what else can we analyze? What else can we analyze? So since we are busy with theorem 2, guys, we know this one, guys. M2 is 2 times our P, guys. We know that O2, I mean M2, guys. I wanted to say M2. So M2 is 2 times angle QPR, right? So I think that's all that's needed to tackle the questions, guys. But if you have something else, you can shout it out on our comment section below, right? Right. Okay, let's tackle our questions then. So let's see A. Okay, A, they are saying express QS in terms of X. They are saying express what? Express QS in terms of X. Actually, guys, they are just saying express this blue line in terms of X. But we can see that QS is actually a part of this triangle of QPS, right? Meaning that we can simply do our Pythagoras theorem, right? So what can we do? We first have to, I actually made a mistake here, guys. Everything that you are adding on your diagram, it must be in color, guys. You must buy colored pens, right? So you must first tell the examiner that PS is equals to SR, right? And is equals to X. Our reasoning is going to be the line from the center perpendicular to the chord, it bisects the chord, right? It bisects the chord. And after stating this, guys, you can say that therefore PQ, PR is equals to PQ. Our reasoning is going to be given, right? And then it's equals to 2x. We are going to say given, right? And then after stating that, you are going to say in triangle in triangle PSQ, we are considering the triangle of PSQ. We must tell the examiner, guys. We are going to say PQ squared. Isn't it that PQ is our hypotenuse side, right? And then PS squared plus QS squared is equals to our hypotenuse side, right? And then our reasoning, you are going to say Pythagoras theorem, right? And then we know PQ is equals to 2x, right? And then PS is equals to x, and then we are looking for QS, and then we are going to transpose. So the technique in this step, guys, I always tell my student that our hypotenuse, it can't be negative, guys. It can be it can be. So our hypotenuse side is always positive, right? And then the other side is going to be negative. And then we are going to introduce square roots both sides, and then we are going to be left with QS is equals to, obviously, 2 squared is equals to 4, x squared, yeah, is x squared, guys, and then we are having this. And then after that, we are going to come here. So QS is basically equals to 4 minus 1 is going to be 3x squared. And then you can simply write QS as x root 3. If you don't understand what I just did there, guys, you must go to our videos where we were explaining the laws of exponents. So I'm going to link it on our screen right now so that you can see why we are left with x root 3. So on our next question, guys, which is B, they are saying if x is equals to root 12, right? If x is equals to root 12, actually let's erase everything that's with x. Let's just erase, guys, because they are telling us that x is actually equals to root 12, right? And then we are going to erase this one as well. So it's going to be 2 multiplied by root 12. So they are saying if x is equals to root 12 and ms is equals to 1 unit. So ms is 1 unit. Let me try to use color. So ms is 1 unit. So their question is calculate the length of the radius. So we know that we only have 2 radius here, the guys, which is mr and mq, right? Which is mr and mq. So we can simply do this thing, guys. We can say, since we have qs as we calculated it on our last problem, we found out that it's x root 3, right? So how do we find mq? Since we are given that ms is 1, you can just say qs, the whole line, qs is equals to ms plus mq. But we know that mq is what? Is our radius. And then we are going to say x root 3 is equals to our ms we are given on our question here, which is 1, plus mq. And then when you are going to transpose this one, guys, you are going to be left with x root 3 minus 1. So we know that x, we must let x to be equals to root 12, isn't it? So we are going to be having 12 multiplied by the root of 3 minus 1. And our answer here, guys, is 5 units. I don't know to say units or to say centimeters, but just there, guys, it's 5 units. So basically we know the whole line is x root 3, right? So we are also given ms is equals to 1. So if you have any question, again, guys, drop it on our comment section below. I will make sure that I get back to you. So let's go to our next question, guys. Let's go to our next question. Let me first insert our radius here, which is 5, and this also it's going to be 5. So they are saying calculate the size of M2. Our M2 is that angle that is subtended by this arc at the center, right? So we are also going to consider a triangle. Let me say so we are going to consider triangle PSQ, right? Why we are considering PSQ? We are considering PSQ because we do have sides of this triangle, and we can simply use our trigonometric ratios to simply get this angle, right? So we are going to say let's use cos, right? So what is cos? Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, right? So that simply means you are going to say cos P is equals to, what's our adjacent is PS, and our hypotenuse is going to be PQ. And then we are going to substitute on our next step. So our PS is going to be root 12, and then our PQ is going to be 2 multiplied by root 12. Hopefully I'm making sense, guys. So P is automatically going to be the arc of cos root 12 over 2 multiplied by root 12, right? So after this, guys, you are going to say M2, ne? You are going to say M2, right? M2 is equals to 2 times P, isn't it? So our reasoning is going to be angle at the center is 2 times angle at the circumference, right? Right, guys. So whatever answer you are going to get here, guys, you are going to multiply it by 2, right? So you are going to say 2 multiplied by arc cos, let me introduce square brackets here, arc cos root 12 over 2 root 12, right? And then you simply just punch this on your calculator, guys. You collect all the marks. So our answer, guys, is going to be 120 degrees. So if you are having any question, guys, any question, post it on our comment section below. I will make sure that I get back to you. And if this video was valuable to you, please don't forget to boop that like button. And on our next lesson, we are going to be looking at our third theorem, which is one of my favorite theorem because it's insanely simple, right? So let's go to our next lesson, guys. Peace.